There are really only three key things that you need to know in order to lose fat and get healthy, and we're going to cover all three right now. The most important thing, without a doubt, when it comes to fat loss is nutrition, and both quality as well as quantity matter. Now, can you lose fat being in a calorie deficit eating nothing but Skittles? Technically, yes, but that isn't sustainable or healthy. And so I'd recommend doing the following instead. Let's cover quality first. For your protein sources, favor meat, fish, seafood, eggs, and dairy if you digest it well. For carbs, favor whole food sources like fruit, veggies, potatoes, yams, squash, rice, essentially any carb source that has one ingredient in it with a super important caveat, that it sits well in your stomach. If a food is considered healthy, but it doesn't digest well for you, skip it. For fat, you're going to get a fair bit of it from your protein sources, especially the fattier types like beef, salmon, and eggs. However, you can also add things like avocado, butter, other various forms of dairy, and potentially small amounts of nuts and seeds. Okay, that's quality covered. What about quantity? Take your current body weight and multiply it by 15. So if you weigh 200 pounds, 200 times 15 equals 3,000. That is going to be your rough maintenance calorie intake, give or take. Meaning, when you eat 3,000 calories per day, you do not gain fat, but you also do not lose fat. You want to lose fat. And so subtract 300 to 500 from your maintenance intake, which in this case will land you at 2,500 to 2,700 calories per day. Eat 1 gram of protein per pound of your current body weight or your goal body weight. So if you're 200 pounds now and you want to be 175 pounds, eat between 175 and 200 grams of protein daily. There are 4 calories per gram of protein. So if you're eating 200 grams of protein per day, that's a total of 800 calories. Carbs also have 4 calories per gram, and fat contains 9 calories per gram. So feel free to fill in the remainder of your caloric intake from both carbohydrates and fat based on your personal preferences and whatever has you feel best. I have a free fat loss template outlining all of this information. And so if you follow and DM me on Instagram saying nutrition fat loss template, I'll send it right over to you. For exercise, first and foremost, hit 10,000 steps per day or 70,000 over the course of the week as a whole. Once you are hitting that target consistently for a month or more, feel free to add in resistance training or whatever type of activity that you'd like to do on top of that. Sleep 7 to 9 hours per night and follow the 4-3-2-1 rule. Stop drinking alcohol a minimum of 4 hours before bed. Preferably don't drink at all, but if you choose to, cut it off at 4 hours. 3 hours before bed, stop eating. 2 hours before bed, do not drink any liquids, water included. And 1 hour before bed, shut off all of your tech. So no computer, phone, television, bright lights, any of that stuff. When you hit a fat loss plateau, you have 3 options to continue losing fat. 1, lower your calorie intake and keep your movement the same. 2, keep your calorie intake the same and increase your movement. 3, lower your calorie intake and increase your movement. Now, the reason why I said when you hit a fat loss plateau is because as you get leaner and lighter, you're going to burn fewer calories doing the same level of activity. And you can think about it like this. A big SUV is going to use more fuel driving 100 miles than a small Honda Civic is. And so as you get smaller, you are going to require fewer calories. Do you need supplements? No. There are no over-the-counter supplements that actually work for fat loss. Does it matter how many meals you eat per day? No. You could eat 1, you could eat 10. What matters is how many calories you take in over the course of days, weeks, and months. Do you have to do cardio? Hit your 10,000 steps per day, and once you are doing that consistently, feel free to add in quote-unquote cardio on top of that afterwards if you'd like. Do you have to lift weights? No, you don't. It's probably a good idea to get a lifting session in maybe once or twice a week for general strength and functionality, but you do not have to. Do you need probiotics or prebiotics? No, you don't. What about balancing hormones? Proper nutrition, movement, and sleep will regulate your hormonal status for fat loss. What about genetics? Fortunately, fat loss is not genetically determined. It is lifestyle dependent, meaning every single human that has ever lived and will ever live can lose fat when they modify their nutrition, movement, and sleep accordingly. Do you need to cold plunge or sauna? No. If you enjoy cold plunging or doing the sauna, by all means, go for it. but it is not going to result in any sort of fat loss that you could even notice or measure. How about stress? Does it stop fat loss? Roughly 50% of people lose weight in response to stress, and about 50% of people gain weight in response to stress. So what does that tell us? Stress itself does not result in weight loss or weight gain, but our response to stress can. Meaning if you get stressed out and you eat less, you are going to lose weight. And if you get stressed out and you eat more, you are going to gain weight. So do your absolute best to keep your nutrition on point during stressful times via preparation and planning. And if you do that, you can absolutely maintain your body composition or even improve it regardless of external life stressors. Feel free to thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you liked this video, I think you'll like this one too. I'll catch you in the comments.